is a Your Black World TV exclusive. Welcome to On the Real. I'm your host, Tiara Williams. Here on The Real, we talk about real issues that are affecting our African American community and try to find real solutions through conversation. So, let's get this conversation started. Meet my real talkers.
Quentin Miles, Washington, D.C.
Robert Howard, Los Angeles, California.
Hey guys, Jovana Brush from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Of course, here on The Real, we talk about the good, the bad, and the ratchet in the African American community. So, let's start our conversation. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Stay ready.
Let's start with our real ratchet rundown. So I came across, obviously we all seen the video of the young lady, it was an old show of Tiara Williams show, of the lady saying that she hated her skin. And
basically, society categorized me as black, but I don't see myself as black. I'm not black. I don't want to be black. Being black has been a curse. Being born black has been a curse.
If we are the same shade, then that means you're calling yourself dirty.
No, I'm not dirty.
This is really a trip to me. I'm sorry. Y'all gotta understand, I'm having a meltdown inside my head right now. But I'm trying my best to deal with this the right way. See, I personally look at you, and I look at me, and don't think that we're that much darker or lighter than her, do you?
No.
But we are dirty. You and I look like monkeys. And not only do we look like monkeys, but I'm stupid. I'm ignorant.
I know right now through what you're saying that you are not well in your head.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, your opinion doesn't matter because you're black.
what did you guys think of that?
You can't say you love yourself but hate everything about you.
Right.
Your nose or your brown skin. I mean, that's what makes you, and everything that made you, your mom, your dad. So that means you hate everyone in your family.
Right.
Basically. It sounds like she's very confused about who she is and what it is to like really hate something.
What do you guys feel about black people that don't consider themselves black? Like, I came across an article of a model saying that, and this is just a sidebar, but a model that came across saying that she didn't identify herself as black. It's just a weird phenomenon that's happening. What do you guys think of that?
Who do they identify themselves as?
Just
I think in that situation she was, she didn't want to close herself off to jobs by saying I'm a black model or I'm an African American model. So by just saying I'm an ethnic model or something of that nature, it kind of broadens her chances.
But she looks like a black woman.
Yeah, she does look like a black woman. And when I was looking at the interview, I did see she got a lot of flack for it.
But what I don't understand is her trying to like, she's not light skinned. She looks like a black woman when she walks in.
That's an issue too, to say like she's not light skinned or she's not brown skinned. So does that qualify the difference of her blackness?
No. I'm saying when she walks into a room, it's obvious that she's a black woman. She doesn't look. I'm not like, oh, she might be Indian. No, she looks like a black woman.
Right, but she's not saying that she's not black.
She's just saying
she's not saying anything.
I think she is saying she's not black.
Exactly.
I feel like both of those stories connect because they're saying what a lot of people are saying through their actions, that no one wants to be really black out in public. They don't want to be perceived as black. Don't use that word on me. I'm African American. I'm actually Ethiopian, or my mama's Indian. They want to be everything but black. And that's part of the consequence of racism that happened historically, globally. It happens and it has an effect on us. We feel like I can redefine myself. I want to be Negro. I want to be another term that we come up with for 10 years and we switch it. Because we don't have a history of looking at blackness as a positive thing globally, not just here in America, but globally. The effect is, well, I'm going to define myself what I'm going to do, what I define myself as. And it might not be what you call yourself, even though they're all labeling us the same.
Right.
It's like a disassociation.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. And it only, like you were saying about the history, it only takes in to consideration such a minute part of, who we as black people are perceived to be. It's like they want to distance themselves from the 4 or 5 things that people say about us and don't want to connect themselves to the hundreds of things that are great about us all throughout history, and with that global perspective. So, I mean, it's really a lose-lose situation because you're trying to disassociate yourself from this little bit, but you're failing to realize that there's this greatness that is attached to who you are, you know, and you're just missing out.
What do you guys think about, I came across a Jamaican artist called Vibes Cartel, and he bleached his skin, and there's tons of, you know, entertainers that have bleached their skin. Let's just start with that.
Right.
But I came across Vibes, and he said the reason why he bleached his skin was to give him a new image. Like, he wasn't going to be the same person because he's now lighter. What do you guys think of that?
I feel like that's some bull.
I don't think it's safe to bleach your skin.
It's not. But I mean, people lighten scars and stuff. But when you take your complexion from this shade to another shade,
Your entire, like your entire
that's
body.
dangerous.
Yeah.
But we do dangerous things to ourselves. I mean, I love your hair. I love your hair. But there are women in our racial group who do dangerous things to their scalp with chemicals. Men who do dangerous things with their scalp, that's skin, right? To make themselves not be as Negro or as black as they were born. So straightening of a hair or using a lightening soap.
For vanity purposes alone, they look really ashy. You know, when you bleach, I mean, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look. It's just not a good look. It's just you look bleached.
But hence the term.
Literally, you look bleached.
No, but you know what? I'm gonna have to go against the grain on this one. I think it is the same. I think it's exactly the same as when people tan.
Do you?
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Tanning
thing.
isn't permanent.
I mean, but people.
Neither is bleaching.
Neither is bleaching.
Don't go back.
But people keep going back to tanning beds, you know, and things like that, and they look horrible. Sometimes they come out looking all orange and everything. You know what I'm saying?
That's the spray.
Whatever it is, they go to some lengths
Absolutely.
to get darker. And you know, it's the same thing. They do it because of image, or they just want to be darker. And then you have this guy, he bleached himself because he want to be lighter. It's kind of like the same thing for real.
Okay, so let's just have the conversation. I want to talk a little bit about how we identify ourselves. Like, I know I came across another conversation and was like, am I black? You know, Rob was saying it a little bit earlier. Am I black? Am I not black? Am I African American? Who am I? What do you guys think of that? Because some people don't consider themselves black. They consider themselves African American. And then, you know, I had an issue with the word black for a very long time, you know, and I'm just starting to, you know, reconsider. But what do you guys think?
I feel like the term black, like I said a little bit earlier, the term has negative connotations, right? And we don't illuminate the prettiness of black. Sometimes we hide it and lighten it and change the way blackness looks, call it something else, when black is still black. Racially, I'm black. My son's black, my mama's black. Ethnically, I'm African American. I have a homeboy who's racially Latino, and his ethnicity would be Mexican or Mexican American. I have friends who are like, well, just pick one. They're two different things. A person can be black and be ethnically Jamaican. They can be ethnically Belizean. They can be ethnically Mexican.
Right.
But they're two different things. And I feel like sometimes we combat over, well, this is what it is and this is what's not. This is how I define it. This is how I was taught. And we're not on the same page.
Q?
I think, you know, just talking about the color, I used to have a pretty big issue with the term black too. Because, you know, it's based on a very ambiguous scale. Because most white people aren't white, most black people aren't black. You know, we're talking about like shades of beige and brown that people are. So I used to have that. But you know what? It comes a time where you really have to establish for yourself who you are and stop, you know, fitting into what someone else wants to call you or how they want to label you, you know. And even if you do want to label me a certain type of way, I'm going to take the greatness from how you wanted to label me, and I'm going to add it to the greatness that I already am, and I'm going to keep on stepping. So when you talk about the color black, black is life. The most fertile soil in the world is the blackest soil. Ancient Kemet and civilizations of old like that, black was the divine color. Black was the color of the divine. And see, now through manipulation and imperialism and all these types of things, you take what once was greatness and you try to flip it on its head, and you perpetuate and you fill it with lies. Well, like we were saying earlier, what you got to do is you got to go back to the history of the thing. You have to educate yourself, and you have to figure out who you are going to be for yourself, and what your blackness is going to represent. So my blackness isn't going to represent anything that someone tried to put on my ancestors, you know, because I'm not my ancestors. And I appreciate what my ancestors did, but they weren't what they were being called at that time either. You know, and we are some of the, man, y'all about to get me on this rant, but I will tell you this. I will tell you this. We are, I will say this, that everyone on this couch, as a race of people, I do not believe, and I'm not no pro-black dude, but I'll tell you this, I do not believe that there's a race of people that are stronger than the modern black person. Because you talk about what we went through and what our ancestors went through for us to be here. We were built to be some of the strongest people, both mentally and physically. If you just follow that path from the Middle Passage on, and you see that the people that are in front of you today are people that have gone through some of the most tumultuous physically and mental challenges, spiritually and everything, you know, and we're the product of that. To not want to be, you know, proud of that would be ridiculous. And I'm insanely proud of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's
I feel like everything that you just said is one of the excuses on why people don't want to be black. Some of the black people here in America know some of the stories of what it was like to be a slave or be brought here, and only a certain number made it and they were bred and separated and all those things is embarrassing. It's not something that they see they should be proud of. So because we're not telling the story and embracing it, I don't even know many people who still celebrate Juneteenth, right? The emancipation of our people.
Or even knows about
Or even knows what that is, right? Or how many people still celebrate all the days of Kwanzaa besides just saying, Happy Kwanzaa, right? We're not celebrating our cultural roots and connecting cross-culturally within our race. That's one of the problems. So if you have a young person or a person who's not getting education, there's no one telling the story in a way that they're listening to it, they're not going to be proud of it. They're going to do everything they can to be unblack. I'm gonna dodge the blackness. I'm gonna dodge the stories that connect my people to that story. I don't want to be that. So not personally, but I know people who are like that.
I think we're just far. You know, when you look at the modern day black person, I mean, I think a lot of times that we have representatives, you know, people representing me are like Shorty Lowe's baby mamas, or Lil Wayne, or, you know, whoever else, Trinidad James. I mean, those are the representations that people are just seeing as black people, you know. And unfortunately, there is a part of me that's embarrassed about that. Like, you know, you watch television, you're like, dang, you just gonna be on TV doing that.
I mean, and you know what? If we really want to get deep and talk about the black woman, I mean, it's just like the black woman is so objectified, and beyond being objectified, she's so rejected. It's crazy to me how on one hand the black man can praise his black mother and feels that she deserves the best, but in turn does not feel that way about the black woman. She is the same woman. You know what I mean? You want the best for your black child, but you don't think the black woman who she spawns from deserves the best. So,
and to take it one more step, you just talked about Trinidad James and the baby mamas and all of those things. Who are behind perpetuating those symbols?
Those stereotypes.
Who's behind it still to this day?
And who's watching it though? We definitely watch it. I've seen a couple shows that we're acting out and we're being that character type, that stereotype. And people are talking about it on Facebook and Twitter, online, and every time around the water cooler at work or whatever, we're entertained by the cooning up of our people.
Thank you, Robert. That was a really good point. And you guys, this was a great show. Thank you so much. I also have some really good news to share. Rwanda has seen their first female pilot. Her name is Esther Mumbazi. She's 24, and I think this was a great accomplishment. I came across the story and I thought it was worthy of sharing, so I wanted to share that with you all. Well, thank you guys for joining me, and thank you for joining me here on The Real. Feel free to join our discussion, and also click that little subscribe button right down there, and we'll see you soon. Hi, I'm Tiara. If you like the programming that you've seen today, go support us on GoFundMe.com. We're at www.gofundme.com/A Real Righteous Startup. That's A Real Righteous Startup. REEL Righteous Startup. And we'll see you there. Thank you so much in advance. Bye.